Kuble P Baro. Hakin gisni balen nila dab banle shibon ki video halor ka Citizenship Amendment Act but kata Citizenship Amendment Rules arajar arsaw ha ka bang nila le ban batay shy halor ka jingmod jong kata CAA but bale kimi shibon ki jingki. Minta kenting layo banyak kendua but uwe ni kinoy sai an jong ke jela banyo jing shy kindiat halor ki kendon jong ke ni ke CAA ki baiting ko bat ka an. Nilayo banyak keren but ima Erwin Sutnga but ban yo jing shy halor kita ki legal implications lani ki jing ki baga CAA kaya kendo ha kaliang ka an.
Now this raises a constitutional and legal question. Bale. Okay, you don't apply. But the point is that the government of India itself is saying that there cannot be restriction into the movement of people into the tribal areas. That's the contradiction. Yes. The Hangniru Ajin Shisha, the implementation of the CAA requires that Meghalaya, I'll talk only about Meghalaya, it requires that there should be a control system, especially in the movement of communities and populations into the state, into the tribal areas. Right now, there is no control mechanism of the autonomous district councils. Kabalong legally binding, kaban control to. Kadon kani ka demand for inner line permit. Kidon ki pros and cons about the inner line permit. But the point remains that the government of India has recognized the fact that inner line permit is a mechanism of control. Whether we require inner line or we require another system of control, like maybe a 3-tier card system to identify people. Number one is the indigenous residents of the state or the legal residents of the state. Number two, maybe migrant laborers. And number three, maybe for tourists and temporary visitors. Maybe something like that can be introduced. We have to take into consideration the economic needs of the state. Total restriction also is not good. But there has to be a strong mechanism to identify.
Shushu nilayale bantwa jingmud halor ki jinglong no sinyang jong kani ka CE hakaba ki babun hi ki ong ba ka long anti secular lani ka ta ka jing bam ken mar ka jo ya baro ki cha nyam.
Kata tengar ngahaban agri namar balai phimnumla ban ka India hi ka constitution ka ong ba ka de ka secular country ka ba ka sarkar hi kam don niam. The hangne ka wan ka constitutional contradiction. Namar hajing sha la da dai bakile ha ka kendon jong ka jing sha pensitom jing sha le ben. De kata kala ya de kumwe. Hare hangne ile bakla ki ne ka sarkar NDA ka le bakla khandiat ka long ka kawan rai kan yam. Hari ka jing kalong bamenta kat kum statistics ngan ai ta ki statistics ki badon ha in the public domain. Hapo Assam la dep identify be kidon hadu hapadeng lailak bandriulak kini ki migrants but ni kita kide Hindus dah. Kata ki jing there are no Christians, there are no Buddhists, no Jains, no Sikhs, Parsis ki belong included in that. This matter is still pending before the Supreme Court on the pleas against CAA. Now this is ongoing. I would not like to say anything, Kaban, be inferred as sub judice, but the point is that I will have to speak about the facts which are coming out in the amendment. On the basis of this is what I see is that by itself, this has become anti-secular. Hapo Assam, as it stands, kadon ko protest ko baklan ba, namar balay, there are already 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs identified. Namar kata daw ka create ya kani ka problem ka ba where do we keep these people? Then immediately there is a fight for the indigenous land. That this question is something which the central government will have to I know it will be a big headache for the central government. Where will you locate these people now? This is the question that every right thinking Indian today on the eve of elections to the parliament, of the new MP election, of the forthcoming Lok Sabha elections. Every right-thinking Indian has to think deeply on this. It is no longer just a question of politics. We have seen what has happened where the line dividing state and religion has been blurred. And here let me say it bluntly. The major 99.9 who will be legalized, who will be given citizenship status under the CAA are Hindus. What I'm against is the blatant politicalization of Hindu sentiments.
Hato Kane ka an ka long gaban no Shiliang, kay gijing sngo jong pi halor kani, pin sngo gijing mut ki jong pi ha ka comment section ha po, what klet ban like, share but subscribe ya kani ka channel jani. Ngadi ban kintu Maori, nagabanta u Forefront Media.